Yeah, speaking of Boeing, look, if you're going to miss and you're going to guide poorly, you're going to get beaten up. And we saw what happened with General Electric down that 10%. And yesterday, sort of missing out on the 85 short and having to catch it at 83, determined not to make the same mistake twice. So, look, it all comes down to you don't want to miss certain opportunities when you see something like this on a daily chart. You've got a skittish market. You have a big miss. You have what happened to a related name in General Electric the day before. And you can see on the daily, not the 15 or the 60 today, the daily chart is what I wanted to show. I mean, like Boeing's already well away from that 275, and we're screaming down $100. But the key thing, and I drew the line when we look at that crazy March low, right? Like, how far do you have to go back after you look at that 162.5 wick bottom? And you do have a channel 165. So it's about a $2 channel at that low. Look how far you're going back. We're not talking 2021. We're talking 2020 bottoms down below 150, the 145 support. When you see a breakdown like that on a week chart where you already have a catalyst, this is a trade you don't want to miss. So because I did not want to have the mistake of missing the first part of the move when it came to Boeing, and I missed out on GE, I wanted to be in this in the pre-market, and it gave you the consolidation. Remember we talked about the 160 to 165, 162.5? Well, you're sitting 160 underneath your 65 level channeling. So we just sit in the trade. Step one, good. The way I like to get into these trades generally is get that little pop and fade. Step two, good. Pop, 162.50, filled right in front of it. Oh yeah, is that 162.50, that little wick down here? You better darn believe it is. So we get to fill exactly how we want. Here is the trouble with having that scalp mode mentality, or maybe paying too attention, looking to your 1, 3, or 5 minute chart when you're making a trade. Because it's so easy to see this channel and see a bid at 160 and think you're taking some off and reloading up here, and it's just going to work a couple of times. Because if it flushes, you know you've taken some out a little bit too early. Now, a winning trade's a winning trade, and you're going to be happy making a couple of bucks there. But the reality is you don't want that first exit to be there. That's not what you're getting at, especially after GE yesterday. First exit should have been where we took the 158. What happened at 155, anyone watching the live show knows exactly what happened here. All morning I said the next target down is that 150 area because that's the only reasonable place this could go when you have a gap that big. 155, intention to trail it, let's be honest. Intention to put a trailing stop in and took it all out at the bottom. It should have been one exit point there and then hold for the 150 level. Was I thinking we'd get all the way to 145, 146? I actually didn't think we'd go all the way down there. I thought there'd be buyers on Boeing. I own Boeing. I like them for the long term. But reality is I can't believe we made that keystroke error. It happens to you. It still goes down further than we anticipate. But the key thing for this trade was I think that original exit point, that's what we could have done better. Can't always be in scalp mode when you're thinking of that bigger time frame trade. When you're basing it off the daily chart, then you shouldn't be trading it off the 3 minute. That's the first thing you got to consider, guys. You should always keep that higher time frame. Maybe just only look at it on your 15 or your 20, then you wouldn't take that exit. There's just no way you do it. Did I like the long off the bottom? Not really. It gave you one shot at a secondary trade. I'm not really showing you the whole trade here. It did try to come back to that 158, shorted it to 57, down to about 55 for a couple of bucks on a scalp trade. When they had the call, it did make a little bit of a bounce on Boeing, but we can always do better. We improved from GE. GE was a winner yesterday, but we didn't maximize it. We managed to be in the trade and not miss the initial flush on a related name, but we can still do better by not scalping it here. General Electric, Boeing and GE, kind of hope they both go to the upside. But when you see these multi-week, multi-month, multi-year levels break down, you've got to be trading around them. It's the same thing when the market's breaking up. These key levels are huge. This one just happened to be to the downside.